graduation. It is on behalf of our student body and our staff, I'd like to thank you to our veterans for being here today so we can recognize you. Although Veterans Day is a national holiday that is recognized one day each year, I challenge our students to make sure that they're thankful and appreciative of all that our veterans have done for us each and every year. It does not take much to extend a hand and say thank you for your service. We'd like to welcome our veterans. We'd like to welcome family members that sacrifice so much when their loved ones are in the military protecting our freedoms. And we'd like to thank our current and active military personnel for all that they're doing for us each and every day. We have a jam-packed program. We have this whole program is put on by our staff and our student body. And we want you to sit back, we want you to enjoy the program. I want you to, as you're watching this program, although maybe someone close to you in your family is able to join us today, but think about the service that they are providing our country. And again, thank you to our veterans that were able to make it today. Our first speaker is going to be Catherine Young.
Hello, I'm Catherine Young, and I'm a member of this year's freshman class. At this time, I would like to ask that everyone please rise for the presentation of the colors, the pledge of allegiance, and the national anthem.
Post the colors. Veterans, at heads, hook. Post the colors. Precept, hook.
You may be seated. The U.S. flag is always posted to your front and to your left. It will be a little higher and a little brighter than all the rest of the flags. The next flag to be posted, the black and white flag, is for the prisoners of war and missing in action. Since World War II to present day, there are over 83,000 missing in action or unaccounted for. The next red, white, and blue flag to be posted, that's the flag of the North Georgia Honor Guard. That is the organization that all the veterans here today with me belong to, being honorably discharged from one of the 5 military branches of this great nation. And the next series of flags to be posted are the military branch flags. The first white flag to be posted is that of the United States Army. If you served in the Army, would you please rise for recognition? Thank you. You may be seated. The next military flag to be posted is that of the United States Navy. If you served in the Navy, please rise for recognition. Thank you. You may be
be seated. The next flag to be posted is the other white flag, that is of the United States Coast Guard. If you're coasting, please rise for recognition. Thank you. You may be seated. The next red flag to be posted, that's the flag of the United States Marine Corps. Please rise if you serve in the Navy. Thank you. You may be seated. And the last light blue flag to be posted, that's the flag of the United States Air Force. Please rise if you are in the Air Force. Thank you. You may all be seated.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Present. Home.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Home.
Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem by the Fannin County High School.
Present. Home.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Hello, I'm Hernan Mares, and I'm a member of this year's sophomore class. Veterans, the band will be playing the song for your particular branch of the armed forces. As they play, a student will display a flag of your branch of service. As your song is played, please stand. The order will be Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, and Air Force.
You may be seated.
It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our speaker, Mr. Shannon Culpepper. Mr. Culpepper has served in the U.S. Army Reserves for 6 years, from 1991 to 1997. In addition to serving in our nation's Army and being a teacher at Fannin County High School, he is also my father. Every day, he instills in me the same attention to detail and perseverance he displayed as a member of the U.S. Army and now as a teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to introduce to you our speaker, Mr. Shannon Culpepper.
Thank you. I appreciate the introduction, and I'm honored to be here with you today as we pay tribute to all those who have served in uniform through the years. Veterans Day, which began as Armistice Day, started as a celebration of the peace that followed the Great War, known as World War I. In 1919, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed November the 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day to honor those who served in World War I. In 1938, it became an official day, and later, in 1954, the name was changed to Veterans Day. Every generation of American citizens have heard an answer to the call to service. And every time the call sounded, our nation's men and women have stepped forward and sworn to defend our nation with their lives. I've never thought Veterans Day got the attention that it deserved in terms of national holidays. For many Americans, there is no day off from work as there is for Independence Day. And for many people view Memorial Day as the official holiday to pay tribute to service members from the armed services who have laid down their lives in service to this country. And yet this day, Veterans Day, serves a very important purpose. It is the day we recognize not just those who have lost their lives in war, but all those who have worn the different uniforms of military service. This day, above all others, is an opportunity to recognize the choice that an American makes to swear an oath, stand a post, and be willing to lay down their life in order to defend a greater cause. For some, it has meant the worldwide conflict of World War II. For some, a lifetime of peacekeeping missions across the globe, or involvement in the many events during the Cold War era. Others found them in the jungle of Vietnam, or enduring the cold, harsh winters of Korea. And of course, we cannot forget that today, for many service people, this means multiple tours of duty to faraway places around the world. Today, as we consider the overall impact of all our veterans who have served, we should not forget the struggles and hardships they faced in the past and will continue to face in the future. Veterans are necessary to defend our democracy and all the wonderful freedoms we cherish in this great country. At events such as this, I am always reminded of a famous quote by a great British leader named Winston Churchill during the Blitz of World War II. He said, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few." For most of you, the word veteran brings to mind memories of a father, an uncle, a grandfather, or a friend who fought in some war long ago and far away. Many of you probably think of men who wear funny hats and are the first to stand up and salute the flag during the national anthem. On this Veterans Day, I would ask you to expand your definition of a veteran. They are real, ordinary people all around us, and they are an important part of both our heritage and our community. To paraphrase Thomas Paine, the revolutionary at the outset of the American Revolution, He said, those who expect to reap the blessings of freedom must undergo the fatigue of supporting it. Some of you here today have borne that burden and experienced the fatigue and hardships of war. To you, I say thank you. Thank you for setting the example that inspired people like me and countless others in voluntary service. My personal inspirational experience occurred while in college at the University of Georgia in 1990. Go Dogs. We all meet people in our lives that have a profound impact in shaping us and making us the person we become. One person for me was a history professor named Dr. Carol Reardon. She captured my attention with both her knowledge and passion for teaching history, along with her specialization in the area of military history. Her reading assignments were enormous. Her writing assignments required a high level of critical thinking. Her overall class expectations were some of the most demanding I experienced while in college. However, she was always thought-provoking, and her course left me wanting to know more. On one particular assignment in that class, I needed some guidance and went to her office to get some extra help. It was during that meeting we had a conversation about history, but also about military service. After reflecting on both the class with Dr. Reardon and the discussion I had with her that day, I continued on to take several more of her history courses. She inspired me to both receive my undergraduate degree in history as well as serve 6 years as a reservist in the Georgia Army National Guard from 1991 to 1997. My unit was an Army mechanized infantry unit. Basically, I was a grunt who rode on a tank. I served on a Bradley fighting vehicle. During my years of service, I performed most roles on the Bradley fighting vehicle, such as a driver, a gunner, and a dismount team leader. I'm very proud of my military service. Today, my military service is over and my college days have long since passed, yet they both continue to have a profound impact on my everyday life. My military experience provided me with a strong work ethic, discipline, as well as a great love and devotion to this country. Most of my professional career has been spent here at Fannin County High School, teaching high school social studies courses, as well as coaching many different sports. I continue to strive to inspire others just as many teachers and veterans have inspired me. I challenge you, students of Fannin County High School, to find someone in your life that is a veteran and ask them about their military service, or just say thank you. If you are a veteran, I would like to encourage you to share your story with others. Let them know what you have done so that they can see the many faces of military service in our community. Finally, there are many stories and examples of courage, service, and personal sacrifice to reflect on today. Use this opportunity now and on Veterans Days in the future to celebrate service to our nation, to demonstrate the appreciation we have for our military, and to inspire future generations to dedicate themselves in the name of the many that have come before them. Today, we give thanks to live in a country where citizens from every generation willingly and courageously volunteer to stand the watch. For all those veterans here today, thank you for your service and your sacrifice. I share the pride and the camaraderie you feel in having the honor of serving this great country. To the staff and students of Fannin County High School, thank you for choosing to share this celebration with us and show your support for our service members in the past, the present, and in the future. Thank you.
We are honored to have Mr. Bill Stogel with us today to recognize our soldiers that are still or have been prisoners of war, known as POWs, and those soldiers that are still missing in action, known as MIAs. Mr. Bill Stogel served in the United States Air Force from 1970 to 1974. He earned the rank of sergeant and was assigned to Chanute Air Base, Illinois, Lakenheath, England, and Minot, North Dakota, as a flight line mechanic. After leaving the Air Force, he served as an airframe and power plant mechanic for Delta Airlines for 38 years. He is currently the historian for American Legion, Post 248, and is a commander of the North Georgia Honor Guard. Please welcome Mr. Bill Stogel.
I would like to draw your attention to the chair to my right beside the podium. It is empty. The POWs, prisoners of war, MIAs, missing in action. They're no longer with their families. They're not at home. As I stated earlier, when we posted the POW and MIA flag, since World War II, there are over 83,000 still not home. Let's go back to World War I. Since World War I, there have been over 142,000 missing in action. But let's think about this. For every one that did not come home, there's a family. Those numbers rise tremendously when you think about the family. Let's think about the pain and the suffering that the family members endure, along with the soldier who did not return. They have that thought with them each and every day. Let's keep those family members and the soldiers forever in our minds, in our thoughts, and in our prayers. They need our prayers. You would need our prayers if you have a loved one who did not come home after valiantly serving your country. We stand here today before you because of these soldiers. They have protected our country and defended our freedoms. We would not be assembled here today in this manner if it were not for them. And all the military members that did come home and those that are serving now. But especially the POWs and the MIAs, we need to keep those in our prayers. We need to pray that someday they come home to their country, to their family, the people that knew them and cared about them. And if they do not come home, we pray that they go to their Heavenly Father forever and ever. Please don't forget the POWs and the MIAs. We are here because of them. Thank you.
At this time, we would like to invite all of our veterans in attendance today to the stage to be recognized. Veterans, if you will, please assemble in a line to your right of the stage. As your name is read, enter the stage in the formal line. Please remain on stage until all veterans have been presented.
Veterans, if you come on up, we would like to recognize you. Shan Culpepper, Specialist, Army National Guard, served 1991 to 1997. Keith Hunter, Sergeant First Class, United States Army, served 30 years. Greg Pavone, Second Class Petty Officer, United States Navy, 1969 to 1973. Bill Stodger, Sergeant, United States Air Force, served 4 years. Carl Wingard, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Army, 22 years. Grady Bryson, Sergeant First Class, Army and Combat Engineers, 3 years service. George Fletcher, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Army, served 33 years, 1950 to 1983. Louis DeWeese, Sergeant E5, United States Army, served 6 years. Lee Wilkinson, Senior Chief, United States Navy, 1986 to 2010. Irvin Plott, Specialist 4, United States Army, served 2 years. Benny Collins, Lance Corporal, United States Marines, served 1961 to 1966. Wendell Murphy, Sergeant, United States Marines, served 6 years. Elaine Owen, Captain, United States Air Force, served 5 years. Roy Bradbury, Sergeant, United States Air Force, served 4 years. Sonny Payne, Specialist 4th Class, United States Army, served 1969 to 1971. Garnett P. Webb, Specialist 4th Class, United States Army, 2 years active service, 1959 to 1961, 4 years reserves. Paul Hunter, Specialist 4th Class, United States Army, Vietnam, 1970 to 1971. Robert J. Brown, Machinist Mate, United States Navy, 1943, 44, and 45. Jesse David, Staff Sergeant, United States Marines, 2008 to present. Shane Bob, Major, United States Army, served 28 years. Gary Bailey, First Class Petty Officer, United States Navy, 23 years. Dale Dyer, Captain, United States Air Force, served 1942 to 1946. Reverend John Baptist, Rear Admiral, United States Navy, 1952 to 1975. Tommy Lee, Sergeant, United States Air Force, 1970 to 1974.
James Jeans, Specialist 4, United States Army, 1969 to 1970. Curtis Dillingham, Aviation Structural Mechanic First Class, United States Navy, 1971 to 1984. Larry Payne, Specialist 4, United States Army, 1966 to 1968. David Haslett, Staff Sergeant, United States Army, served 18 years. Jerry Hyde, E5, United States Army, 1965 to 1967. David Sanders, Major, United States Army, served 20 years, 1983 to 2003. Joe Hutzel, First Class Petty Officer, United States Coast Guard, 2008 to present. Robert Mills, Petty Officer, First Class, United States Navy, served 12 years. Larry Dyer, Master Sergeant, United States Air Force, served 33 years. Jack Warner, Staff Sergeant, United States Army Band, served 4 years. Gary Queen, Lance Corporal, United States Marines, 1969-1970. Dr. Douglas Newley, Lieutenant, United States Navy, served 2 years, 1974 and 1976. Don Kendall, Sergeant, United States Air Force, served 4 years. Jerry Gordon, Specialist, Army, 1959 to 1965. David Henson, Specialist, United States Army, served 4 years, 1987 to 1991. Steve Strickland, Corporal, United States Army, 1969 to 1975. Nick Wimberly, Specialist, 4th Class, United States Army, served 3 years. Richard Crosley, Staff Sergeant, United States Air Force, served 1966 to 1970, 4 years. Gerald McMillan, Chief Petty Officer Chief, United States Coast Guard, served 20 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing these courageous men and women who have faithfully served our country.
To create this video to commemorate the dedication and love of our country shown by our veterans. We hope this appreciation is enjoyed by all.
I was in the U.S. Army. I was a member of an artillery detachment dealing with intercontinental military. I was in the U.S. Army. I was a member of an artillery detachment dealing with intercontinental ballistic missiles, which were Pershing missiles.
My grandfather he was in the Navy.
My grandfather and a few of my uncles have actually been in the military as the Air Force and the Navy.
My brother-in-law and my grandfather was in the Army.
My half-brother is going into the Air Force right now.
My dad is in the military. He's been for 7 years.
A veteran is somebody that works hard to serve our country. And you can find them in every branch, and all the branches come together to make one really great military.
They put their whole life and their time into protecting us and making sure that our country is where it needs to be as far as being safe.
To give you all the freedoms that you have.
To go and serve our country and defend our rights.
Sacrifice things that other people typically want to sacrifice.
Serve to protect our country, our freedoms, and our way of life.
Veterans are truly amazing, remarkable people.
I have a number of people that I was in the military with that I talk with regularly. One of my best friends, Christopher Bradley, lives in Wilmington, North Carolina, and he has visited me, and I've visited him at least every other month. We've kept in contact, best friends. Other members that I was in the basic training, AIT, even at permanent duty station, we stay in contact with. Very thankful for social media, Facebook, and other things that allow us to keep up at arm's length with some of those members. But because of that, it's afforded us the opportunity to have reunions, to have times that we're getting together. When some of those members traveled, they would stay, with people that was in our unit just because of that fact. So.
TAPS is credited to Brigadier General Daniel Butterfield of the Union forces during the Civil War, but was quickly taken up by both the North and the South, being sounded by buglers in both Union and Confederate forces. TAPS is used today by American servicemen as an end-of-day lights-out signal. In addition, it is a vital component in ceremonies honoring military members that have passed away. When TAPS is played at a military funeral, it is customary to salute in uniform or place your hand over your heart. Please rise for the playing of TAPS and the retiring of colors. Retire the colors.
Please rise today for retiring to the colors.
Veterans, thank you for being here today. I'd like to thank our North Georgia Honor Guard for your participation, Mr. Todd Hill for your words, obviously your Coach Culpepper for your service and for inspiring our students each and every day here at the high school. I'd like to thank our student speakers that were speaking earlier today. Our video, there's probably close to 200 students that are involved in some way or another here. We'd like to thank our FFA for being our ushers today. Obviously our band and chorus that you got to hear perform. And our SCCLA group will be preparing refreshments for our veterans downstairs as soon as we conclude today. But students, here's where it gets real. Many of you know recent graduates that have joined the military, that are in basic training right now. And their sole purpose is to defend your rights and your safety in this country. At this time, I'd like to ask our seniors that have either enlisted or plan to enlist in one of our military branches or try to gain acceptance into our service academies in the fall of next year, please stand. We wish you guys the best, and we thank you for all that you've done to do. I'd like to thank Mr. Barnstead and Ms. Holsworth, who put on this program for you today. I hope many of you sat here today and were able to recognize the efforts and the sacrifice that our veterans have done for us, and made you think about those that are close to you, whether it's a sibling, a parent, a grandparent that has served or currently serving in one of our military branches. Thank you guys for being a part of this today, and just reflect throughout the year what a veteran means to our country. So we are going to be concluding. Veterans, please stay and join us for refreshments downstairs. We will show you how to get there if you have not been here before. We appreciate the turnout. It's one of the largest groups we've had, and we're very grateful that you guys found time to be with us today. Students, we're going to be going to the second block.